Far beyond the bright stars and swirling galaxies, the universe moved quietly, like a giant clock ticking in perfect time. Planets spun in their orbits, and countless alien races lived in peace. But one day, everything changed. In the High Council chamber of the Galactic Union, voices whispered nervously. The room was filled with glowing screens and holograms showing distant planets. The leader, a tall alien with silver skin named Varn, stood at the center. His sharp eyes stared at a flashing message from a small blue planet called Earth. "What is this?" Varn asked, his voice low but strong. A young council member named Scylla replied, "It's a message from Earth. We have never seen anything like this before." Varn looked closer. The message was simple, but clear. Humans are preparing for war. The other members gasped. Peace had lasted for hundreds of years, but humans were different. War? One alien whispered. Why would they declare war now? Scylla shook her head. We don't know. But they are building weapons, large and powerful. We have detected strange energy signals from Earth's core. Something is happening beneath their surface. Varn frowned. Send scouts. We need answers. Meanwhile, on Earth, far below the cities and forests, a team of scientists worked in a secret underground lab. The leader, Dr. Mira, watched the energy readings grow higher on her screen. It's unlike anything we have seen, she said quietly. This power could change everything. Her assistant, a young man named Jay, looked worried. Do you think the other planets will find out? What if they think we want to attack? Mira shook her head slowly. We don't want war. But we must protect ourselves. The universe is not as safe as it seems. Outside, satellites tracked strange ships moving near Earth's orbit. The aliens were watching. They did not understand humans, their hopes or fears. All they saw was a rising threat. Days passed. The Council's scouts arrived near Earth, cloaked and silent. They watched humans building giant machines, weapons that looked both old and new, but stronger than anything in the galaxy. One scout, named Kiro, sent a message back to the Council. They prepare for battle. But why? There's no clear enemy. Suddenly, the calm was broken. A violent explosion shook a remote space station near Earth. Alien ships rushed to the scene. Is it an accident? One captain asked. No, Kiro said firmly. It was an attack. Humans fired first. The Council was shocked. Why would they start a war? Back on Earth, Dr. Mira received news of the attack. She looked at Jay. This is worse than we thought. Someone is forcing our hand, Jay frowned. Who could that be? Myra did not answer. Instead, she looked at the energy readings again. The power was growing faster, uncontrollable. In the council chamber, Varn paced. We must act fast. If humans have this power, they could destroy us all. Scylla looked at the stars beyond the windows. But what if it is not just about war? What if humans are hiding something even bigger? Varn stopped and stared. Find out, now. Meanwhile, Kiro, the scout, risks sending a secret message back to Earth. We do not want war, he wrote. Why do you prepare for destruction? The answer came quickly. Because sometimes to survive, you must be ready to fight. Kiro felt a chill. Humans were not like other beings. They feared nothing. And the universe trembled. The cold stars watched silently as tension grew near Earth. The universe waited. But no one knew what would happen next. In a small control room, deep beneath Earth's surface, Dr. Mira stared at the glowing screen. They don't understand us, she said softly. We never wanted to start a war. Jay, standing beside her, frowned. But they attacked first. Our scouts say the aliens' outpost exploded near the moon. Mira nodded. Yes, someone wants to force us into fighting. But who? Suddenly, the room shook. Alarms blared loudly. Incoming message, a technician called out. The screen flashed with an unknown symbol, a message from space. Varn's face appeared on the screen. "Humans," he said, his voice firm. "Why did you attack?" "The Galactic Union seeks peace." Mira took a deep breath. "We did not attack without cause. Alien ships have been watching us for months, spying on our work. We fear a threat to our planet. Our weapons are for defense." Varn's eyes narrowed. "Defense? You have power that can destroy entire fleets. Tell us the truth." Jay stepped forward. "There is a new energy source beneath Earth. It is strong, beyond our control. We don't fully understand it ourselves." Varn looked troubled. "This energy, what is it?" Mira hesitated. "We call it the core force. It is ancient, buried deep inside our planet. When we discovered it, we thought it might help us grow, protect ourselves. But it is dangerous." In the distance, an alien fleet gathered, ready for war. The council argued, unsure if humans could be trusted. Meanwhile, Kiro, the scout, returned from Earth. He reported to the council, "Humans are not what we expected. Their weapons are new, yes, but their fear is real. They do not want war. They prepare for it." Varn listened carefully. "Then why did they strike first?" "Because they believe we plan to destroy them," Kiro answered. "They do not know our true intentions." Back on Earth, Mira and Jay worked late into the night. "This core force is growing," Mira said nervously. "If we cannot control it, it could destroy us all." Jay looked out the window at the stars. "Maybe the universe has been waiting for us to show what we can do." Suddenly, the ground trembled. Lights flickered. A deep rumble shook the lab. Myra's eyes widened. "It's happening. The core force is awakening." Outside, the alien ships closed in. Varn sent a warning. "Humans, cease all attacks. We offer a chance to talk." But Earth's leaders ignored the message. Fear had taken hold. War seemed inevitable. Kiro watched helplessly. If only they could see the bigger threat. Just then, a bright flash lit the sky. The core force exploded from the planet's core, sending waves of energy into space. Alien ships were pushed back, their shields failing. Humans cheered, but Mira felt a cold dread. "We have awakened something," she whispered. "Something beyond war." Varn's voice came again, urgent and calm. "Humans, this power can destroy us all. We must find peace or face annihilation." Jay looked at Mira. "Can we stop it?" Mira shook her head. "I don't know, but we have to try." The universe held its breath, waiting to see if humans and aliens could stop the war, or if the core force would tear them apart forever. The glow from Earth's core pulsed like a heartbeat, casting eerie light through the underground lab. Dr. Mira stood in front of the monitors, watching the energy readings climb higher. Jay paced nervously behind her. "We can't hold this much longer," Jay said. "The core force is growing too fast." Mira's face was pale. "We thought it would help us protect Earth. Instead, it's breaking free." Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the lab door. Myra opened it slowly. A man in a dark uniform stepped inside. "It's Commander Ral," Jay whispered. "He's from the military." Ral's eyes scanned the room. "Dr. Myra, the council demands you stop the core force experiment immediately." "They believe it's too dangerous." Mira shook her head. "Ral, you don't understand. If we stop now, the energy will explode." "We need to control it, not shut it down," Ral frowned. "You risk everything, your people and the whole planet." Before Mira could answer, an alarm blared again. Outside, the ground shook violently. "Core force activity is rising," a technician shouted. "Seismic readings off the charts." Ral's face turned grim. "This isn't just about Earth anymore. Other planets are feeling it too." Meanwhile, far above Earth, Varn and the Galactic Council watched with growing concern. "This energy is unlike anything we have seen," Varn said. "It threatens the balance of the universe." Scylla looked at the reports. "If Earth loses control, The shockwave could destroy nearby systems. Then we must act, Varn said, rising. Send an envoy to Earth. We need to talk before. It's too late. Back on Earth, Mira and Jay prepared for the arrival of the alien envoy. Jay asked, "Do you think they will listen?" Mira sighed. "I don't know. Fear is a strong enemy." When the envoy landed, a tall figure stepped out. His skin shimmered blue under the sunlight. "I am Larek," he said calmly. "We come in peace to help you." Mira hesitated. "Help? How can you help with this power?" Larek smiled gently. "The core force is old. It once belonged to an ancient race. We have knowledge that can guide you." Jay looked surprised. "Why share this now?" Larek's eyes grew serious. "Because the energy will destroy us all if left unchecked. Earth's war has become the universe's war." Mira nodded slowly. "Then we must work together," but not everyone agreed. Commander Ral spoke sharply. "We cannot trust aliens. They watched us like enemies." Larek met Ral's gaze. "War will not save you. Only unity can." Just then, the core force surged again. The ground cracked beneath their feet. "We don't have much time," Mira said urgently. "If we don't control it, everything will end." Varn's voice came through. "A communicator. Earth, you have the Council's support. Work with us." Jay looked at Mira. "This is our chance." Mira took a deep breath. "Let's stop the war and save our home." As humans and aliens joined forces, the energy began to calm. The core force slowed, its violent pulses fading. But deep beneath the surface, something stirred. A shadow, ancient and powerful, watching and waiting for its moment to rise. The universe held its breath once more. The silence in the Galactic Council chamber was heavy. Varn sat at the head of the table, his silver skin glowing faintly under the dim light. Around him, the council members whispered nervously. The recent alliance between humans and aliens had brought hope, but the shadow beneath Earth still loomed. Ila leaned forward. "The core force is calming, but there are signs of another power, something deeper." Varn nodded slowly. "We must understand what lies beneath before it's too late." On Earth, Dr. Mira stood outside the lab, staring at the darkening sky. Jay joined her, hands in his pockets. "Do you think this alliance will last?" he asked. Mira sighed. "I want to believe it will, but fear is still strong." Suddenly, her communicator beeped. It was Larek. "We have detected unusual activity near the core," Larek's voice said. "Something is waking." Myra's eyes widened. "What kind of activity?" "A force unlike the core force, older, more dangerous." Jay frowned. "How can there be something older than the core force?" Larek's tone was grim. "Earth holds secrets even it does not know." Deep underground, the earth trembled again. Cracks spread across the cavern walls, glowing with strange light. "Look at this," Mira said, pointing at the readings. "The energy is spreading." Ral joined them, his face tight with worry. "We need to prepare. If this force is real, it could destroy everything." Above ground, the alien fleet stood ready, but they hesitated. Varn spoke over the comms. "We will not attack, but we will defend. The universe depends on it." Meanwhile, humans continued their work to control the core force. Larek worked closely with Mira, sharing knowledge from his ancient race. "Your people have great strength," Larek said one evening. "But strength without wisdom can lead to ruin," Mira nodded. "We are learning." Then, the unexpected happened. A bright light burst from the core, sending a shockwave through the planet. Buildings shook, people screamed, and the night sky lit up like day. "We must evacuate," Ral ordered. Jay grabbed Mira's hand. "What is happening?" Larek's eyes were wide with fear. "The shadow has awakened." From the depths, a figure rose massive and dark, its shape shifting like smoke and stone. "It is the ancient guardian," Lorek said, awakened by the core force disturbance. The Guardian's voice echoed through the caverns. Why do you disturb my rest, humans? Mira stepped forward, voice steady. We did not mean to wake you. We seek peace. The Guardian studied them silently, then spoke again. Your power is great, but unchecked, it will destroy worlds. Jay swallowed hard. How can we stop this? The Guardian's eyes glowed. Balance must be restored. The core force and I are one. If you want peace, you must learn control. Varn's voice came through. Humans, we stand with you. Together, we can face this. The alliance of humans and aliens prepared for a new challenge, not a war between races, but a battle for survival against an ancient force. Mira looked at Jay. This is only the beginning. And deep beneath the earth, the Guardian waited, watching, testing their courage and will. The universe trembled once more, not from war, but from a power much older and far greater. The quiet after the explosion was thick with tension. Earth's sky was still bright from the shockwave that had shaken cities and forests alike. Dr. Mira and Jay stood on a hill, watching the horizon where alien ships hovered in formation. The alliance was holding, but the true test had only just begun. We thought the core force was our greatest challenge, Mira said, her voice low. But this ancient Guardian, it's unlike anything we imagined, Jay nodded. We need a plan. Fighting it with weapons won't work. Just then, Lorek appeared beside them, his calm blue eyes focused. The Guardian tests your spirit, not your strength. You must understand it before you can hope to survive. Mira looked at him, hope flickering. How do we do that? Lorek gestured toward the glowing cracks in the earth. The core force. And the Guardian share a bond. You must restore balance between them. Jay frowned. But how? We barely control the core force. Inside the underground lab, tensions ran high. Commander Ral stood before the team, frustration clear on his face. We cannot afford mistakes. If we fail, Earth will be destroyed, he said sharply. Mira met his gaze. We are working as fast as we can. But this is new territory. Suddenly, an alarm blared. The energy readings spiked wildly. The ground trembled violently. It's the Guardian again, Lorek said, rushing to the monitors. It's responding to our actions. Outside, the Guardian's massive form shimmered, dark and powerful. Its voice boomed through the atmosphere. You awaken forces you do not understand. Cease your actions or face destruction. Jay stepped forward, raising his voice. We want peace. Tell us what we must do. For a moment, silence fell. Then the Guardian's eyes glowed bright. Prove your will. Enter the core. Face your fears. Only then can you find balance. Mira exchanged a glance with Jay. We have no choice. Together with Lorek, they prepared to enter the heart of Earth. The journey was dangerous, filled with unknown energies and deep darkness. As they descended, visions appeared before them, memories of ancient wars, destruction, and hope. Mira's heart pounded. Stay focused, Lorek warned. This is a test. Suddenly, the path split into two. One side glowed warm and bright. The other was cold and shadowed. Jay looked at Mira. Which way? Mira thought carefully. Both. We must face light and dark. They took separate paths. Mira's path was filled with images of lost people she couldn't save, cities destroyed by war. Tears streamed down her face, but she pressed on. Jay's path was darker, showing his fears, failure, loss of control, the destruction they could cause. At the end, they met again. The Guardian appeared, calmer now. You have faced your fears and pain, it said. Now balance must be restored. With Lorek's guidance, Mira and Jay combined their energies, channeling the core force with respect and control. The Earth's rumbling slowed. The cracks began to heal, and the glowing light softened. Outside, the alien ships lowered their weapons. The Guardian's voice echoed one last time. Harmony returns. Back on the surface, Varn spoke to the council. Today, humans showed strength beyond war, the strength to understand and unite. Mira smiled at Jay. This is just the beginning of a new future, Jay nodded. A future where we protect, not destroy. The universe sighed in relief. But deep in the shadows, unseen eyes watched, waiting for the next challenge. The calm after the storm was fragile. Earth's skies cleared, but the tension remained heavy in the air. Dr. Mira stood beside Jay at the edge of the rebuilt laboratory. The core force was quiet for now. Yet both knew this peace could end. At any moment. We've won a battle, not the war, Mira said softly. Jay nodded. The Guardian's warning was clear. We must stay alert. A sudden beep from Myra's communicator startled them. Larrick's voice came through, urgent but calm. There's unusual activity near the outer ring of the core force. It's growing faster than expected, Mira frowned. What could it be? I thought the balance was restored. Larrick answered, something else is awakening. Something we didn't see before. The ground trembled faintly. Jay looked toward the horizon, where alien ships and human defenses both stood ready. Are we sure the Alliance will hold if things get worse? Mira turned to him. We must hope it will. Otherwise, everything falls apart. Deep underground, the core force pulsed with a strange rhythm, uneven and unpredictable. Mira's team scrambled to analyze the data. Energy spikes here, near the original epicenter, one technician reported. But the pattern doesn't match the Guardian's energy signature. Ral entered the room, his expression dark. Could this be an attack? Another enemy hiding inside? Mira shook her head slowly. No, this is something new, something different. Larrick joined the group, his face serious. The Guardian is not the only ancient power in the core. There are fragments, shards of lost energies, dangerous and unstable. Jay's voice was low. Fragments? What does that mean? It means, Larrick said carefully, that when the core force was created, not all energies were contained. Some were broken off, scattered deep within Earth. Mira felt a chill. Could these shards cause more destruction? Larrick nodded. If left alone, yes. They could grow, feeding on the core force's power. Outside, the Alliance Council gathered for an emergency meeting. Varn spoke with grave authority. We must work together to find and contain these shards before they awaken fully. A new mission was planned. One that would take the best humans and aliens into the deepest parts of Earth's core. Mira, Jay, and Larrick were chosen to lead. Before they left, Mira looked at Jay. Are you ready? Jay smiled grimly. I don't have a choice. Their journey into the unknown began. As they descended, the temperature dropped and strange lights flickered. In the darkness, suddenly, the path shook violently. Rocks fell, blocking their way. We need to find another route, Larrick said urgently. Mira's eyes caught a faint glow from a narrow tunnel. That way. They squeezed through, the glow growing stronger. The air buzzed with energy. At last, they reached a vast cavern. Crystals pulsed with light, shards of the lost energy. Jay touched one carefully. This power. It's alive, a sudden roar echoed. From the shadows, a creature formed made of crackling energy and rock. It's guarding the shards, Larrick said. And it will not let us take them. Mira stepped forward, voice steady. We don't want to fight. We want to heal. The creature's eyes flared. Healing comes with balance. You must prove you understand. The cavern trembled as the creature charged. Jay and Mira prepared to defend themselves, but Larrick raised his hand. Wait, let us show you. Larrick focused his energy, channeling calm through the core force. The creature slowed. Sensing the change, Mira added, We want peace. Help us restore balance. The creature hesitated, then bowed its head slightly. We will not destroy the shards, Mira promised. But we will keep them safe. As they secured the crystals, the cavern's energy settled into harmony. Back on the surface, Varn smiled with relief. Earth and the galaxy have taken a step forward, but the path is still long. Mira looked at the stars. We have much to learn, Jay agreed, and many more battles to face. But for now, the universe breathed easier, because even in the darkest places, hope can still shine. The night sky over Earth shimmered with the faint glow of alien ships and human satellites. Peace seemed to hold for now, but everyone knew it was fragile. Dr. Mira sat alone in the control room, staring at the new energy readings. The core force was stable. The shards they recovered were locked safely in containment fields. Yet the numbers on her screen told a different story. They're moving, she whispered to herself. Jay entered, carrying 2 cups of steaming tea. You've been here all night. What's wrong? Mira didn't look away from the screen. The shards, they're resonating. It's like they're calling to something. Jay frowned. Calling to what? Before she could answer, an alert flashed across the monitors. It was a signal low, constant, and coming from far beyond Earth. At the Galactic Council station, Varn leaned over a similar screen. We've picked up the same signal. It's spreading across multiple systems. Sayla's face was pale. Could the shards be acting as beacons? Varn nodded slowly. If that's true, something or someone is listening. Back on Earth, Lorik arrived at the lab, his expression grim. This is no accident. The shards were pieces of a much larger power. The signal is waking the rest. Jay leaned forward. The rest? How many pieces are there? Lorik hesitated. Enough to change the fate of the galaxy. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Outside, people screamed as strange lights streaked across the night sky, falling toward Earth. Mira's voice was urgent. Those aren't meteors. Alien fleets moved into defensive positions. Human forces scrambled. The falling lights struck the ground in remote areas, shaking the Earth. From the impact sites, shapes began to rise, towering figures of pure energy. They've come for the shards, Lorik said. Ral's voice crackled over the comms. We need to hold them back. If they reach the containment vault, it's over. Mira, Jay, and Lorik raced toward the vault deep underground. The air was electric, humming with unseen power. As they approached, one of the figures materialized before them, its form shifting between solid and light. You carry what belongs to us, it said in a voice that echoed in their minds. Mira stood her ground. The shards are dangerous. If unleashed, they could destroy everything. The figure tilted its head. They could also save everything. You fear what you do not understand. Lorik stepped forward. The last time your kind walked the galaxy, entire worlds burned. We will not allow that again. The figure's eyes glowed brighter. Then you will fall. Energy surged toward them, but Jay activated a shield device, blocking the blast. Go, he shouted. Mira and Lorik ran to the vault. Inside, the shards glowed violently, as if answering the call. The containment field flickered. We can't hold them much longer, Mira said. Outside, the battle raged. Alien and human forces fought side by side against the energy beings. But for every one they pushed back, 2 more appeared. Varn's voice came through the communicator. Mira, if you can't secure the shards, destroy them. Mira hesitated. Destroying them could cause a chain reaction. The core force might collapse. Jay's voice came through, strained. Mira, you have to choose. Lorik placed his hand on her shoulder. There is another way. We can merge the shards back into the core force, but it will require a direct link. Mira understood. A direct link means one of us won't survive. The battle above shook the ground again. Time was running out. I'll do it, Lorik said quietly. My people created the core force. It's my responsibility to fix it. Mira's throat tightened. Lorik, there's no other way, he said firmly. They placed the shards into the core chamber. Energy roared like a living storm. Lorax stepped inside, his body glowing brighter and brighter until he was almost blinding. "Keep the balance," he said, before vanishing into the light. The core force pulsed once, twice, then released a massive wave of calm energy that swept across the planet. The energy beings froze, their forms unraveling into harmless light that drifted into the stars. Out in the silence that followed, the vault doors closed. The monitors showed stable readings once again. Jay stood beside Mira, both silent. "He's gone," she whispered. Varn's voice came over the comms, softer than usual. "He saved us all, and perhaps this is not the end for him." Mira looked out at the night sky. The battle was over, but the signal had been sent. Whatever was out there now knew Earth's power, and it was coming. The sky was darker than usual, thick with clouds that blocked the stars. Mira stood on the rooftop of the command center, staring at the horizon where distant lights flickered. The core force was calm, but she knew deep down that calm could break. At any moment. "Do you really think it's over?" Jay's voice came from behind her. Myra didn't turn immediately. "I want to believe it is. Larrick's sacrifice brought peace, but this feeling, it tells me something else." Jay stepped closer. "The signal we picked up? It's still out there, isn't it?" She nodded slowly. "Stronger now. Whatever answered it is moving closer." Suddenly, the ground rumbled beneath them. Alarms blared inside the building. The control room lit up with warnings. "Energy levels rising," a technician shouted. "Something huge is approaching Earth's atmosphere." Mira rushed inside, where the team was already monitoring strange activity. On their screens, "It's not like anything we've seen before," said Varn, frowning at the data. "Massive but moving with purpose." Jay pointed at the radar. "Look, multiple objects, faster than any ships we know." Suddenly, a voice crackled over the comms, distorted but clear. "Humans... You have awakened forces beyond your control." Mira's heart pounded. "Who is that?" Before anyone could answer, the main doors burst open. A figure stepped inside, tall, clad in shimmering armor that pulsed with energy. His eyes burned with fierce light. "I am Kalen, last guardian of the ancients," he said, his voice echoing. "Your fight with the shards has called me forth." Mira straightened. "Why have you come?" Kalen's gaze was sharp. "To warn you. The shards were only part of a greater power, one that can create or destroy entire galaxies." Jay swallowed hard. "We thought we contained it. Larrick sacrificed himself for that." Kellen's armor flickered. "Sacrifices are never final. The core force was built to protect, yes, but also to imprison." Mira's eyes widened. "Imprison? What?" Kalen stepped closer, voice lowering. "The core force holds a being, the creator. A power so vast that it was sealed away to save the universe." Jay looked confused. "A being? Like a god?" Kalen nodded slowly. "A force beyond gods. The shards were fragments of its essence. When you disturbed them, you weakened the seal." Mira clenched her fists. "So what happens now?" Kalen's expression darkened. "If the seal breaks, the creator will awaken, and war will consume all." Suddenly, the building shook violently. Outside, massive energy waves rippled through the sky. People screamed as lights flickered and systems failed. "We don't have much time," Kalen said urgently. "You must help me reforging the seal." Jay stepped forward. "How?" Kalen extended his hand. "By combining your core force with mine, but it will come at a great cost." Mira looked at Jay, then back at Kalen. "We're ready." Together, they moved toward the ancient chamber beneath the earth, the core force's heart. The air was thick with raw power. The walls glowed with energy. Kazil, Ian began chanting in a language neither Mira nor Jay understood. The core force pulsed, reacting to his words. Suddenly, A dark shadow twisted through the chamber. The creator's form started to appear, immense. Terrifying, with eyes like burning stars, the ground trembled. Mira's voice shook. "We have to hold it back." Jay reached for the core force, merging his energy with Kellen's. "Focus." Kalen commanded. Light exploded from their hands, forming a barrier between the creator and the chamber. The battle was fierce. The creator roared, striking with waves of destruction. But the combined power of Kalen, Jay, and Mira pushed it back. Kellen's armor cracked. "I can't hold it much longer." Mira's mind raced. There has to be another way. Looking around, she saw the shards, still glowing softly, arranged around the chamber. "Jay, the shards. We need to use them all together, now." Jay nodded, gathering the shards. As he placed them into the core, the energy surged, feeding the barrier. The creator screamed in fury but began to fade, pulled back into the seal. Kellen's voice was weak but determined. "You've done well, but remember, peace is a fragile thing." With a final flash, the chamber calmed. The creator was sealed once again. Outside, the sky cleared, stars shining bright as if nothing had happened. Mira looked at Jay. "We faced war and won, but the universe is vast. We must be ready." Jay smiled tiredly. "One war ended, another always waits." Kalen, now weakened, looked at them with respect. "Guardians will rise again, but so will heroes like you." As he faded into light, Mira whispered, "May we be ready." The universe was silent, watching, waiting for the next chapter in humanity's story.